Hello, and a warm welcome to News Across Nigeria. I'm Melinda Akinlami. Today, the acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, writes to the Federal House of Representatives requesting for a virement of 135.6 billion naira. Department of Petroleum Resources seals tank farm in Calabar Free Trade Zone, opens investigation into fire incident that claimed 10 lives. And the Kaduna State government signs memorandum of understanding with Chinese firm to improve solar power plants, agriculture, manufacturing and infrastructure across the state. We begin with legal matters. The Federal High Court in Lagos today granted an interim order for 7 commercial banks in the country to remit a total of $793,200,000, and those figures were allegedly hidden with them by federal parastatals and MDAs in violation of the Constitution and the Treasury single account policy of the federal government. Presiding Justice Chuka Obiazo ordered the 7 banks to remit several amounts allegedly kept in their custody illegally to the designated CBN Asset Recovery Dollars account. The court made the interim order after listening to an ex parte application filed by counsel to the Attorney General of the Federation. The banks listed as respondents are United Bank for Africa, Diamond Bank PLC, Sky Bank PLC, First Bank PLC, Fidelity Bank PLC, Keystone Bank and Sterling Bank PLC. Justice Obiazo granted the interim orders and directed that the orders should be published in a national newspaper. He also adjourned till August the 8th for anyone interested in the funds to appear before him to show cause why the interim orders should not be made permanent. The acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has written to the House of Representatives requesting for a virement of 135.6 billion naira. In the letter read to the House by the Speaker, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, Professor Osinbajo says the money will be used to finance priority projects in the 2017 budget. He drew the attention of the federal lawmakers to discussions and agreements between the 2 arms of government before the 2017 appropriation bill was signed into law. Part of the agreement was that the executive should submit this proposal to move some of the monies from within the budget to fund other critical items. Some of the ministries to benefit include the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, the Ministry of Transportation, and the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. We stay at the National Assembly, where the Senate has confirmed the appointment of 8 residential electoral commissioners. The confirmation is coming after the Senate resolved not to confirm any nominee from the presidency until all issues regarding confirmation of appointments are resolved. However, the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, explained that the federal lawmakers would only limit their confirmation to the agencies stated in the Constitution, of which the electoral body INEC is included. The Senate also rejected the resident electoral commissioner for Niger State and stepped down the confirmation of nominees from Kebbi, Lagos and Zamfara states. To other stories now, the Department of Petroleum Resources has sealed the tank farm that was raised after the fire outbreak at the Calabar Free Trade Zone in Cross River State. The DPR director in the state, Mordecai Layden, who visited the scene, explains that the department, in collaboration with other agencies, will look into the matter and administer sanctions to those behind the tragic incident, which claimed 10 lives. Our correspondent Chris Alems has this report.
From what we have seen, I think it was one negligence, 2 suspected illegal activity by some workers around here who I think are a form of perpetrating such acts. But I think their cup was full that day, and unfortunately resulted in the fire incident that occurred. It is very unfortunate because lives were lost. Here you also have security men who are supposed to be in control, manning the facility. But it seems as if they've compromised If not, this happened in the night. So how were people able to get into the depot at those odd hours to perpetrate that act? These are the questions that we want to ask, because after what we've just conducted, this exercise that we have conducted, there's going to be an inquest into the whole issue, and thereafter much more deeper investigation.
Staying in Cross River State, Governor Ben Ayade says over 71 companies are bidding to handle the superhighway and Bakassi Deep Sea Port signature projects of his administration. This is coming on the heels of the recent EIA approvals by the Federal Ministry of Environment for the projects to begin. Governor Ayade says both projects are in progress, and the interest by 71 different companies shows the significance of the progress.
The superhighway and deep sea port, they are in very good progress, and the prospects. Only yesterday there was a major opening of the bid. We have about 71 people, 71 different companies that bidded, which was a massive turnout. And we're using this opportunity to call on EFCC, ICPC to please come and watch the bid evaluation process. It will take about 10 days because we had very massive bids and very big international companies, Cetraco, big companies, all of them participated in this bid. It is critical that we show transparency. But as I have come here, I'll be very brief in Calabar because I definitely have to start a roadshow to source the funding for these major projects. So I'll be going across the globe seeking funding, and I'm sure that by the time I'll return with a very pregnant pocket. Definitely, as we speak today, nobody, and this is to clear air, nobody so far has put a dime on the project. No organization has put a dime on the project other than those who have put direct technical services. And so, to clear doubt, we don't have any cash anywhere, but we have the intellect, we have an idea, we have the knowledge, we know where to go, we know the investors that have appetite for infrastructure in sub-Saharan Africa with emphasis on the Gulf of Guinea.
Governor of Cross River State, Ben Ayade. 3 vessels with suspected stolen petroleum products arrested by the Nigerian Navy while on routine patrol in Lagos and Rivers State have been handed over to the EFCC for further investigation and possible prosecution of the crew members. The flag officer commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Silvanus Abba, told newsmen that the arrests were made possible by the commitment of the Navy to ensure safer waterways. While in Rivers State, a new operation to protect the nation's maritime resources has begun.
These vessels, MV Shelley and NT Vine, were arrested by the Nigerian Navy for possessing suspected stolen petroleum product without valid documents. The vessels arrested by NNS Karadoa in Lagos were laden with 145 metric tons and 600 metric tons of automated gas oil, respectively, when they were intercepted. The flag officer, Western Naval Command, in a session to formally hand over the vessels and crew members to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, gave a rundown of some of the discrepancies observed when they were apprehended.
At about 0130 hours, MT Vine was arrested on arrival at SB Bakari Jetty, Kirikiri, to discharge its products. It was observed that the flash point of the product was higher than that specified by DPR and SON. Also, the color of the product was off DPR standard, as indicated by the lab analysis.
Similarly, the Nigerian Navy ship Pathfinder in Port Harcourt handed over a vessel carrying about 1,200 metric tons of suspected illegal automated gas oil with 11 detained crew members to the EFCC. The EFCC is expected to carry out further investigation and possible prosecution.
We wish to flag off Operation Sareteku 5.
Also in Rivers State, the Chief of Training and Operations, Rear Admiral Ferguson Pobai, has flagged off a new operation, Sareteku, which in Hausa language means protect the sea.
We want to consolidate on the gains of the Operation Sareteku
And it started by having a mandate of 3 months, but because of the positive results, the Chief of Naval Staff extended it to a period of 6 months.
With these activities and arrests made, it's expected that our waterways would be safer and the nation's resources protected. A responsibility the Nigerian Navy must continue to improve upon for our collective good. Chris Illems, Channels Television News.
The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to the cleanup of Ogoni land. That's in a moment. Join us again.